Hey everyone, UFC 291 just wrapped up. Dustin Poirier versus Justin Gaethje. It was an amazing card. We only had 10 fights, but out of those 10 fights, we had 8 finishes, only 2 decisions. Definitely an amazing card. What do you think?
Yes, and a lot more closer matchups. Could have been better with Aliskerov and Costa in it, and Stephen Thompson and Michelle Pereira, but it is what it is. Great card nonetheless.
Yeah, great card. And I guess we could jump right into some of the fights. The first fight we had Miranda Maverick versus Priscila Cachoeira. If you remember, Miranda Maverick took this fight on short notice, and this is exactly why she took this fight on short notice because she was able to just wrestle Michelle Cachoeira or Priscila Cachoeira, sorry, just wrestle, grapple her, and finally find the submission in round 3.
Yeah, Priscilla was actually, after a series of losses, she was about to be out of UFC, and then she had, I think, 3 TKOs, which is unusual, right, for that weight class to have it, and then she resurrected her career. Well, now she's facing somebody who is not bad at wrestling, not bad at striking. Overall, not bad, but there's something missing in Miranda's Mavericks game. IQ, I'm not sure. But yeah, it was. She dominated her with wrestling and eventually got an armbar. We couldn't figure out like what Priscilla was doing when she was pulling her shirt, which we couldn't understand what was going on. Turned out she was pulling her shirt, as Miranda stated. The dirtiest we've seen anybody do something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Yeah,
it's not that performance from Miranda.
Yeah, Priscilla's done some dirty stuff before, like put fingers in people's eyes and mouth, and she's done stuff like that before. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Priscilla Cachoeira, I don't know what they do with her. Probably they have to get rid of her. I mean, Miranda Maverick said that she only took this fight on short notice because she knew that she was gonna beat her with the wrestling. So the wrestling is a big hole for Priscilla. But we can move on to Matthew Semelsberger versus Uros Medic. Typical Matthew Semelsberger fights. Many knockdowns. Either him doing the knockdowns or him getting knocked down. But finally there's a finish by the third round, and that's Uros Medic. He's able to finish Matthew Semelsberger by KO with like a spinning back fist, and then he finishes him off on the ground with some ground and pound. This was a very strange fight because Matthew Semelsberger was doing well in the beginning, right? He knocked Uros Medic down the first 2 times in the first round. Then he kind of took his foot off the gas in the second.
Yeah.
And then the third, I don't know what he was doing. The leg kicks from him were gone. The jab from him was gone. The tightness from him was gone. He was just doing weird stuff. And then Uros Medic finally caught him. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly what he did or didn't. He took off the foot off the gas. Not sure why. Maybe it's a 3-round fight. I don't know. Maybe it was a corner suggestion. I'm not sure if any of the listeners know what exactly was going on in the corner. Please put in the comments. I have no idea why he did that. I don't want to take away anything from Uros Medic. He withstood like 2 flurries, like one in the beginning of the round 1, then in the second round. At the end of the round, where for some reason, remember, like Uros just fell on his lap, so to speak, right? He just fell face forward, and then Semelsberger for some reason elected to wrestle with him.
Yeah,
and I don't know what was going on. Just another something else I noticed that Uros looked big. He's looked bigger than Semelsberger, and he was coming. He is a 155, right? He's coming up the weight class. So overall, good performance for Uros. Showed heart. He showed perseverance. Semelsberger, I think IQ issues, remain to be his main obstacle. I think he has what it needs. I just something missing in it. I think it's the IQ. I can't think.
He definitely has the power because I think he has like some sort of like crazy knockdown rate in the UFC. I don't know. I don't have the stat off the top of my head, but yeah, I mean, you were saying IQ, and you know, even when he knocked down Uros Medic the first time, or was it the second time? You can hear his corner before he goes into the guard. They're saying, "Don't wrestle with him. Let him up." Like they cut the corner cam, and you can hear them yelling, "Let him up, let him up." And what does he do? He just jumps into the guard and lets Uros Medic recover. He throws no ground and pound. He does not attempt to pass. And then Uros Medic, I guess, just recovers and is fine after and goes on to beat him in the third. So I definitely would like to see both guys again. Matthew Semelsberger, he's a fun fighter. Hopefully he can, you know, clean it up and put some more wins together. He's fun to watch. Next up, we have welterweight bout. We had Jake Matthews versus Darrius Flowers. We had Jake Matthews beating Darrius Flowers by submission in round 2. This was kind of a strange fight. Both were, you know, very back and forth, but you could tell Jake Matthews was just getting the better of him slightly in the exchanges. And then finally, maybe Darrius Flowers, you know, it looked like the body shots were starting to affect him. Like that, Jake Matthews was throwing great body shots. He was throwing those digging front kicks. One of those seemed to be clean, but Darrius Flowers kind of played it off as a groin shot, and it would kind of maybe hit the cup slightly, but I don't think it warranted the reaction he gave. You know, anyways, I believe those body kicks added up, and Darrius Flowers was just done, and you know, Jake Matthews got the submission.
I don't have much more to add here. Yeah, I just wondering what's next for Jake here. He's been in UFC for 9 years and he hasn't made much progress. He's been stagnant, if you want to call it.
Yeah, I don't know. He's put some wins together. Remember, like the Andre Fialho, he looked great in that, and then a couple of wins before that, he stitched together. But then he goes and gets knocked out by Matthew Semelsberger. I think it was in the first or second round. So he's had some up and downs. He's also a fun fighter. You know, I'd like to see him more. I don't think he's gonna go anywhere anytime soon. Next up, we had the middleweight fight. We had Roman Kopylov versus Claudio Ribeiro. This was a pretty fun fight. The first round was very back and forth. I gave it slightly to Roman, and then the second round comes around, and then Roman just out of nowhere head kicks him, and that's that. Just big left head kick, and the fight's over.
Yeah, at the end of the first round, Roman, he said it in Russian. He said "zastoялся," meaning it became stagnant. The translator didn't really translate it exactly in the same way, but yeah, he got a little stagnant, and but I didn't think that was enough for Ribeiro to win the round. I believe one of the judges gave it to Claudio, Junichiro, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, that head kick was awesome. It wasn't, and we're probably not a spoiler for anybody now, that wasn't really the same technically as the one done by Gaethje. In other words, there was no hiding it. It was just a kick, right? But overall, yeah, good plan.
Yeah, it wasn't really hidden, but it was set up because if you remember in the first round, he did throw many arm kicks and body kicks. So I think maybe Claudio was expecting another body or arm kick and then just came up top and put him away. But Roman Kopylov, I think he's a prospect. I think we should look at him as a prospect. I mean, he's good boxing, good kicking. He does allow himself sometimes to be a little crowded and like blitz forward, like Claudio did, for example, and maybe he can get hit by that. You know, get hit with those blitzes. But you know, he's still young. I think he has a lot to learn.
Yeah, he has a good fight. He attributed a lot to his training in Dagestan. I mean, we haven't seen the wrestling, but he attributed his success to training in Dagestan. One silly thing he did, and that was after the fight, is calling out Sean Strickland. I mean, it just made no sense, absolutely no sense why he would do that. Sean Strickland is is possibly going to be facing Adesanya, right?
Mhm.
In Australia, and you calling out the number 6 guy, and that kind of takes away from your performance a little bit. It just, I don't know.
Maybe he didn't really even have a call out. Maybe they just kind of put him on the spot. Sometimes that happens where like they don't know what to call and they think of whoever they think of, they just say. I don't know if that's the case or not. But anyways, good performance. Hopefully he gets a top 15 next. But yeah. Next up we have flyweight bout. We had CJ Vergara versus Vinicius Salvador. I believe I had this fight 29-28 for CJ Vergara. The second and third round we had to go to him. Vinicius Salvador looked like he was doing well in the first round. He was outranging him. He was using his longer limbs, right, longer arms, longer legs to kind of keep CJ Vergara at his distance. But then again, Vinicius Salvador just kind of like stopped the output in the second, third round. CJ Vergara was coming on. He was getting inside. He was throwing the hooks. And he goes on to win the decision. And I remember Vinicius Salvador kind of looked surprised when he lost, but to me, it was obvious he lost. He looked surprised. His corner looked surprised, and I guess I don't know. Just the output stopped, and that's what cost him.
It absolutely made no sense what he was trying to do. Why would he completely take the foot off the pedal? It looked like he was sparring. It looked like a sparring session. He was just cruising. He was just absolutely no sense of urgency.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the time, and perhaps I'm criticizing, being very critical. This is the time where the corner needs to step in and do something and say something. And I don't know if you picked up anything from the corner. Not that I'm the big fan of either one, but this is the time where the corner needs to step up. I didn't see that.
Yeah, they didn't see that either, and in fact, they looked confused after the decision. So maybe they thought he was winning, and they told him maybe to step off the gas a little and just take it easy in that third round. I don't know what they were telling him. They didn't. I don't remember them cutting to the corners, and if they did, I didn't hear. But in any case, I don't know. Vinicius Salvador, he loses, he misses weight. I don't know what they do with him. I really don't care personally. CJ Vergara, he's fun. He pushes the pace. I wouldn't mind seeing him again soon. He didn't take any damage. But next up, we had a really, really fun fight. It only lasted a couple of minutes, but we had Gabriel Bonfim and Trevin Giles.
No, I think it's a minute and 15 something seconds.
Yeah, but this Gabriel Bonfim, man, I love this guy.
Oh,
he does not care.
Oh.
The as soon as he hears starts, it's kill mode. It's like a switch goes off in his brain, right? There's no playing around like the guys from before, right? Usually you would think flyweights, usually they're a lot more much more action and much more higher pace. Gabriel Bonfim like just comes out guns blazing, big hooks, gets Trevin Giles against the cage. Trevin Giles kind of neutralizes him for a second with the over under. Then Gabriel Bonfim, swims under for two. He gets two unders, right? He I forgot what it's called. He pummels, right?
Yeah, he gets two. Yes, he gets two underhooks, gets the S grip.
Yes.
Just gets his back from the S grip, and that's it.
Yeah, beautiful. Throws him down and gets actually I forgot what he got him. Was it an arm triangle?
No, guillotine.
Oh, guillotine. That's right. Oh yeah. He jumped for that guillotine.
He let him up. Yeah.
He let him up and then he jumped for that big guillotine. And you could tell, I mean, this guy, you can almost tell that this guy's practiced that move like a million times. It was just so instinctual, right? Because usually you don't jump from guillotine if you from that high up, I believe, right? I mean, I at least have never done it from that high up. Usually I like when they're a little low. But it looked like Trevin Giles was on his way to get up, and Gabriel Bonfim jumps that guillotine, snatches him down, and the arm was in two, I believe. Arm was in two. It looked like Trevin Giles' head was about to pop out, but Gabriel Bonfim, again, you could just tell this guy has done this a million times. He has good submissions, and he didn't let go. He only made it tighter, and he put Trevin Giles away in over a minute, which is pretty impressive, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Showed brutal strength, showed excellent jiu-jitsu, showed excellent Greco-Roman wrestling, right? With he easily won that battle of the underhoops. Not good striking, good IQ, just everything perfect. I mean, I really think this is one of those candidates that you can tell. Like, remember we watched Shakal Rahmanov fight, right? Right away you could tell the guy is the real deal. And this one of those cases where I think I would want to see him like fast tracked, maybe even fight Sean Brady, just bypass everybody else that's in between, just go, yeah, I think Sean Brady fight would be great for him. I mean, I know Vincent Luque has a fight, Kevin Holland just had a fight, Ian Gary's booed, Jaco Del Maddalena is just had a fight recently. Chiesa, nobody knows what's going to happen with Chiesa now. So I think either Sean Brady, maybe even Jeff Neal would be an awesome fight. I mean, I would love to see him.
Well, we'll have to see, because I think Ian Garry is booked with Jeff Neal, right? So we'll see what
right.
they do.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But I do,
Sean Brady, I think, then.
yeah, but I do believe, maybe I could be wrong, but I do believe this is the best prospects we've had at welterweight. And you tell me if you think I'm wrong, because I don't remember the last time we've had a welterweight, or really any division. Think about this. We have Jack Della Maddalena, we have Ian Garry, we have this guy that just fought, Gabriel Bonfim, and we have Shavkat. We have 4 guys in the welterweight division, all guys who I think could be top 5, top 8, and Shavkat already, top 6, I think. But the problem is those guys in the top 5 really don't want to fight. I mean, Kamal Usman doesn't want to fight. Colby doesn't want to fight. Leon is taking, their fight to
the only
set
fighters in
up.
that division actually are fighting is Neil Magny and Gilbert Burns. Those are the only fighters that actually are willing to fight anybody. And Gilbert Burns is hurt, and I'd hate to have Neil Magny fight the up and comer like Bonfim. That'd be so unfair.
I would like a Stephen Thompson versus like a Bonfim or one of those guys. Because Stephen Thompson said on Ariel's show, he said that Michel Pereira, like, I'm not fighting Michel Pereira, but he's like, I'm willing to fight another up and comer in
I
MSG.
think all the him avoiding the wrestlers. I think he expressed it openly that he
did
rather not fight a wrestler. And not that Bonfim is a wrestler, but nonetheless, right? I don't think he would take that fight. He says that he doesn't want to be a gatekeeper. He wants to pursue a title, but yet he wouldn't fight. He wouldn't fight. He just wants to fight the fights he wants to fight.
Yeah,
I don't consider him a contender. So probably Sean Brady is the best.
Sean Brady. Okay, yeah. But as long as they get a fight soon, I'll be happy, because those guys, they deserve to fight, and the guys in the top 15 are just, they don't want to fight. But let's move on to the first fight on the main card. We had Michael Chiesa versus Kevin Holland. We picked Kevin Holland in our last picks, right? We had Kevin Holland. And kind of what we said, I believe, right? I mean, Kevin Holland comes out, he starts striking, and you could tell Michael Chiesa just looked so uncomfortable, right? Like, I don't remember the last time I saw a guy just kind of like turning away from shots and closing his eyes. And Michael Chiesa was even like, he was bending down all the way. And Kevin Holland was, throwing knees and big shots. Michael Chiesa shoots in for a desperate takedown, and Kevin Holland cinches up the Darce. But before that, we actually did see Michael Chiesa. It looked like he was gonna just pick up Kevin Holland a couple times, but Kevin Holland is a long guy. You can't really just pick up guys like that. He was able to keep his feet on the ground on the mat and avoid those. But overall, I think great performance from Kevin Holland. Nothing flawless in my opinion. Nothing to say. Nothing he did wrong that I saw.
Yeah. Again, I don't want to take anything from Kevin. That was pretty good performance. Chiesa, and I'm not sure if Chiesa belongs there anymore. We did point out his lack of striking and his overall willingness to trade and stand and take punishment. And actually, Ken Holland, I think, pointed that out on a press conference. He said he kind of felt Chiesa crumble, right? He just he was happy with tapping. Seemed like
Really, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Michael Chiesa, I don't know if he's done with the sport, but he's definitely not top 5, top 10 material anymore. I think he was like ranked number, what was he ranked? I don't know what he was ranked coming into this fight.
I think he's number top 15 or 14, something like
Maybe,
that.
maybe you're right. Is he there? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe this is a perfect fight for Bonfim. Him and Chiesa, Bonfim versus Chiesa.
Even another death it's just going to be an annihilation. He is going to
really. I mean, just to get Bonfim into the top 15 somehow. But yeah, again, I loved Kevin Holland's performance. We picked Kevin Holland. I didn't think he was going to get it done in the first round by submission, but he did it. He did it with the Darce, and we know that he likes the Darce, especially with his long arms. And Michael Chiesa has fallen victim to that Darce before, right? So, and I think he actually said it too in the interview. I saw him saying something about like he needs to worry about Kevin Holland's Darce. So, yeah, I don't know what to do with Michael Chiesa, but let's move on to Tony Ferguson versus Bobby Green. This was the second card on the main card, or second fight on the main card. Bobby Green gets a arm triangle submission over Tony Ferguson with like 5-6 seconds left. This was a typical Tony Ferguson fight. Tony Ferguson taking a lot of punishment. He knocks down Bobby Green in the first round, but still not enough to win that first round. And maybe you kind of think like, oh, Tony Ferguson, maybe he's not back, but he looks good. But then we just see Bobby Green hitting him with big shots in the second, third round, and then you knew that Tony Ferguson had really nothing for him. And then Bobby Green somehow gets a triangle on him.
That fight looked like a bullfighting, right? Matador fighting a bull, right? Or bullfighting a matador, whatever. You just Tony coming in like a bull, and then and Bobby Green stabbing him with daggers. So that's what it looked like, and he was fading with every punch, with every kick, with he just kept fading and fading and fading. I was surprised that one of the judges gave the first round to
Tony.
To Tony, and it's none other than Ron McCarthy. So I'm telling you, this guy is on the path to become the worst judge in the game, the worst judge in the game. If whatever Tony did, right, within the first, when he dropped him with a cross, I believe, right? Yeah, it was a cross when Bobby Green tried to
it was like a step in right hand. Yeah,
it was a cross that just dropped him momentarily. Bobby Green was got up, and was that enough to win the round? Absolutely not.
No.
So I don't know. Shame on this referee. I appalled by this referee. So if anybody has any comments, and if people disagree with me, put it in the comments. But is absolutely the worst judge now.
Maybe I should make a video of like all of his horrible scorecards.
I don't know. Well, this fight, there were 2 surprises there. I mean, nobody's surprised about the outcome, right? The Bobby Green beating Tony Ferguson is not a surprise. What is surprising is that Bobby Green was able to get a submission and he was able to get a second surprise that Tony got submitted. I mean, when did we see Tony get submitted?
I mean, besides that Nate Diaz one his last fight, which I don't even really count.
Right.
I mean,
yeah. Besides that, I mean, when would the Tony get submitted?
I don't know. I don't think he was ever.
He was never submitted.
Because Oliveira, he didn't tap to that arm bar. He didn't tap to that knee bar. That
he didn't tap to this, but it was I think they call it a technical submission, where you don't really tap, but you just you go to sleep. I mean, yes, he's proven he's tough. He's proven he has the heart, but he just doesn't have it in him anymore physically.
Yeah.
I mean, it is sad that it had to get here, and we did call it though. And I called it when Bobby Green had an accident poke. I said, "Well, Tony's going to use that as an excuse," and lo and behold, he did use that as an excuse. He said it's not an excuse, but
Yeah, it's time for Tony Ferguson. I mean, I know, I know UFC before has told guys, hey, I think it's enough. We don't want to make money off your name anymore. You're a little older. I hope they do the same with Tony Ferguson. I think it's enough for him. He looked better in this performance than in his last one, but it's time. Next up, we had heavyweight fight. We had Derrick Lewis versus Marcos Rogerio de Lima. I mean, we were flat out wrong. We had the Lima winning, but who could have predicted Derrick Lewis comes out with a flying knee and knocks him out? I mean, are you kidding me? Who could predict that?
They could have predicted that. Absolutely nobody could have predicted that. Yeah, just not much to say here. I mean, it only lasted what, 30-something seconds?
Yeah, 33 seconds, something like that.
And yeah, it's great performance, good plan. I mean, he definitely needed something. Usually does come out. We've seen him come out like with weird, openings in the beginning. So, and I believe he admitted himself that he wasn't counting on this, but it was, if it worked, it worked. If it didn't, it didn't. I wasn't the main plan. Like,
it definitely worked, and I think he might have saved his career with that, because this was the last fight on this contract. So if he would have lost, that would have been 4 losses in a row, and he would have been gone probably from the UFC. But now I think he's going to get another contract from UFC. I think he kind of stole the show. I think, right? I mean, there was a lot of people loved his post fight antics and the post fight press conference. So I think they're gonna keep him. But yeah, let's move on. I mean, I don't really think there's much to say. Big flying knee, ground and pound, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah, the question is what's next for Derrick. I mean, he has already fought everybody.
Definitely not another top 5. He needs to fight.
He fought Volkov. He's fought Spivak. He fought Curtis Blade.
He needs to fight another Marcos kind of type of guy.
I mean, who else is there for him to fight? Maybe Alexander Romanov. I don't know.
No, I wouldn't want to see that. I don't want to see him fight another wrestler. They're probably not going to do that, because he fought Spivak and look what Spivak did to him. But maybe they do Volkov again. Who knows? But Volkov's huge, man. Volkov might kill him this time.
Yeah, I don't know what's next for Derrick though. Well, let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's talk about the co-main event. Jan Blachowicz versus Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira wins by split decision, 29-28. I actually predicted that he would win by 29-28. I thought this is exactly how the fight was gonna go. But I did not think Jan Blachowicz was gonna gas out. He looks visibly gassed. Now, I don't know if this is the fact that he was grappling for a full 5 minutes. He had that body triangle. I don't know if it's the elevation. Maybe I think just maybe he's starting to show his age. What do you think?
I think it's a little bit of if you noticed in the third round, they kind of both gassed. Like the output went down tremendously for both. Yeah, so you have to say the elevation definitely was the factor that affected both of them. After the second round, like when it was clear to everybody, pretty much everybody, that the second round was won by Alex, I thought that with the initiative and the momentum on his side, he's gonna kill him in the third one. That's the feeling we had, like, going into the before the third round started. That was least my feeling. We were like, okay, he's got him. He's gonna get him, and then the output just went for both of them. So it's both. I think it's the case of both. I got that one wrong. You did get this one right. So
I do think that the output fell from Alex Pereira not because he was tired. I'm sure he was fatiguing. Of course, it's an MMA fight and it's the third round. But I do think it was because of the fact that the takedown threat was still there, right? I mean, it's not gonna. As tired as Jan Blachowicz is, I'm sure he knew that. I'm sure Alex Pereira knew that at any second, he overextends, he misses a leg kick, he misses anything. Jan Blachowicz is going for a double or a single. So I think Alex Pereira was just being cautious, and it played well for him. There was a bit of controversy. I mean, I saw some people online saying that Jan Blachowicz won the third round, and he even said, Jan Blachowicz himself said that he thought he was robbed. I don't think you can get hit. I mean, Alex Pereira was piecing him up for 4 minutes and 15 seconds. Just because you get a takedown and hold him for 45 seconds does not mean you just win a fight, does not mean you win a round. That's not how it works. You don't get hit for 4 minutes, 4.5 minutes, and then hold the guy down for 30 seconds and you win the round. It's not how it works. But Alex Pereira secured himself a title shot. Him versus Yuri is going to be an awesome fight.
No, absolutely agree. And Pereira showed improvements in his jiu-jitsu. I mean, he survived, right? There were like
a couple close calls.
Yeah, like there were close calls, like with the threats of chokes.
Yeah,
rear naked chokes, and yeah, granted, Blachowicz was at a weird angle. He was just kind of like hanging off of him with that like weird body lock. He was holding himself, right? But Alex survived. I mean,
yeah, Alex survived, and
intelligence.
I do think his fight with Yuri is not going to be any grappling. I think it's just going to be a crazy war. So that's going to be so much fun to watch. Hopefully that fight happens soon. You want to move on to the next? I guess the main event. Yeah, you want to talk about that now? Because this I think surprised us both. It surprised me for sure. We had Justin Gaethje knocking out Dustin Poirier in the second round. I was shocked.
I want to clarify. We were surprised, not of the outcome. We were surprised. I mean, Justin Gaethje beating Poirier is not a surprise. Right? They'll fight each other 100 times and probably beat each other. I don't know, 50-50. Right? It's very close. What's surprising is that there was a KO in the with a head kick in the second round. So that's the surprising element to me.
Yes, yeah, and it's good that you clarified, because it just felt very strange for Dustin Poirier to be knocked out. I mean, we've seen him knocked out before, right? Michael Johnson, Conor McGregor. Well, we haven't seen him knocked out. I think that his last knockout was 2016. So it was 7-8 years, right? And it just felt weird to just see him like fall stiff to a kick that Justin Gaethje never really doesn't throw that head kick, and Dustin Poirier defended that kick, not correctly, I would say, right? Because in kickboxing, the first thing they teach you is never to defend a head kick with one hand or arm. It's always two arms. But Dustin Poirier saw it, and if you look, he blocked the shin. The shin was fine, but it was the foot that wrapped around to the back of the head. If you rewind the tape and you look at that kick again, it was the foot hitting him to the back of the head that knocked him out, which was kind of unfortunate, because you really don't need you really don't need to hit hard. So you don't really need to hit someone hard to the back of the head to knock them out. So it kind of felt, I don't want to say lucky kick, because he threw with intention to knock out Dustin Poirier, right? Of course, but it was just weird. I don't know. It was just weird to see Dustin Poirier get knocked out like that.
Well, Justin Gaethje himself called it lucky. I don't know if you watched the press conference.
Yeah.
Or interview right after the fight. I think he said it was luck.
He said he didn't mean to knock him out. He just threw it out there. Yeah.
But overall, if I were to summarize it, and again, this is something we kind of did allude to in our predictions to the fight. We did say that Justin overall made improvements since their light fight. We've seen new things from him, right? We see his wicked low kicks, right? His low kicks are completely different from let's say Brent Primus, right? Brent Primus, when he destroyed Michael Chandler with his low kicks, like his low kicks are completely different. Brent Primus is keeps his body upright, right? And it's more vulnerable to knee taps, it's more vulnerable to crosses. But Justin Gaethje, he hides everything like well, like all his low kicks are very well hidden. He added more than just a few IQ points as far as the fight IQ goes.
Yeah,
He is an improved fighter. Yeah, we see new things from Justin Gaethje. He's added just a few IQ points. He's more poised. We see his, he hides his low kicks. He's improved boxing. He's overall he is much more improved fighter. We see new things from him. Well, I can't say the same about Dustin Poirier. Now, just think back to 2018 when they last fought. What has changed in his game? What new things have we seen? I can't really point to many. Very little he made. Maybe he adjusted a few things for the counter fight, but overall he is. I can't say he's the much improved fighter.
Yeah, and I knew that Gaethje was the more improved fighter coming into this one, but I still picked Poirier just because of his defense and his boxing. I thought Justin Gaethje would just, walk forward and just make it a car crash, but he didn't. I mean, if you notice, he was actually fighting off the back foot, right? I mean, he was moving laterally. He was okay with being backed up. He was, which is a lot different from the first fight, if you remember. And I think that's something new that Gaethje added to this game, which is the ability to fight moving backwards. And it looked like maybe it was kind of to his detriment at first, right? Because in the first round, I had Poirier winning. Poirier stunned him. Looked like Justin Gaethje was stunned, but Gaethje held his own and found the knockout in the second. And it looks like he's on his way to a title shot.
Yeah, I mean, again, we've beautiful performance, a lot of new things like his lead leg kicks, right? He does this beautiful lead leg kick without doing the switch, right? He doesn't throw a switch kick; he just throws it really fast, and the inside leg kicks. I mean, overall, phenomenal performance, phenomenal improvement.
Yeah, it was. I was hoping kind of for a little bit of a longer fight, right? Because that's what was advertised. We were thinking maybe we'll go 4 or 5 rounds, decision like before almost. But overall, it was an awesome card. We had, again, like we said, 80% finish rate. Yeah, and looks like Gaethje's on his way to a title shot. Now, you actually mentioned that maybe Gaethje would could fight Alexander Volkanovski, maybe just because Gaethje would have to wait for, he would have to wait for Oliveira and Islam to fight, and then they're gonna have to recover, right? Whatever happens.
Yes.
So then it's going to be we're probably looking at like another 9 months until Gaethje fights. And you were suggesting that, hey, listen, Volkanovski wants to fight in lightweight. Why not test himself against Justin Gaethje? And it's funny, as soon as you said that, right? Because then we saw other people posting that same thing. So kind of wish we would have put this out a little earlier, but we should start him. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say we should strive to get this video out earlier. I know the couple of things we were both busy, but maybe next time.
Yeah, but like Gaethje has options, many options. He has the title shot. He has, who knows, Alexander Volkanovski. I don't really know what Dustin Poirier does. He did say that he is done with contenders, up and coming contenders, which means he's not gonna fight guys like Tsarukyan. He's not gonna fight Fiziev guys. He said
There
he
are
just
no big fights for him, except for Colby Covington maybe fight, right? Like which you
yeah, he said he
out.
wants a big fight, but I don't know because Connor he fought, right? Gaethje was a big fight, he fought. Chandler was a big fight, he fought him. He lost to Oliveira.
I don't know
Islam,
if
he doesn't deserve Islam, right? Because he lost. So the only fight I would see is if Colby beats Leon. Even if he beats Leon, I think we could still do Colby versus Dustin Poirier, to be honest.
yeah, I agree.
Because
Maybe Holloway, maybe fight.
but
I
again,
don't
that'd be the third time they fight, and Poirier winning the first two. I don't know. I don't know what Poirier does. Maybe he just takes a break. Maybe he hopes that Nate Diaz beats Jake Paul somehow, which will never happen.
and Nate Diaz comes back. All right, maybe.
But yeah, again, overall, awesome card. I know we said that a million times already, but great finish rate. The next one we have is, I believe, is it Sanhagen and
Font.
Font, right?
Yeah.
That should be an amazing fight. We're gonna do. Hopefully, we'll do a prediction on that. Also, I know you don't really keep up with it as much, but there's also an awesome one championship card this week, like amazing one championship card. So maybe I'll just do my own kind of little pick on that. But yeah, overall, guys, we have an amazing fights last week. This week we had, also last week we had the Bellator Horizon, we had the boxing event. So we had a lot of combat things going on, guys. So keep out for our videos. Watch out for our videos. We're gonna be doing predictions, and maybe we'll release that Ron McCarthy's horrible scorecards. Maybe I'll do a little compilation of those.
All right.
All right, bye guys. Thank
See you
you.
next time.